So it's been about 10 years now since I've started to study the solar cycles, and honestly, before I even began to study it, I was 10 years old in rural Oregon, daydreaming about certain things, and part of my visions of the future, which included our minds being scanned, so to speak, and being inserted into computers, databases. The other was something involving the sun, and a red sky specifically, and some sort of a survival scenario. The time I was 29 in Portland, Oregon, I wrote that article, Solar Flares in the Earth's Weakening Magnetic Field, which is about 10 pages, which you can find that PDF online. In 2013, producing the solar flare presentation in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And so I am looking at the sun as a reset of our civilization. The sun is a conscious being, and that's also why it's important for us to get plenty of sun, and not just be in front of the false light on YouTube, on the internet. Get plenty of sun. Ponder things under the sun. So I see the sun as a reset of this civilization at some point in the future, and in many ways I see it as our only salvation, and for some reason it has a ring to it, the return of the sun. The return of the sun. The return of the sun. So I want to throw some things out here, and no man knows the day or the time, the place, but there are some clues, and sometimes things are in black and white where things seem to be going to a certain direction where X marks the spot. Here's some of my suspicions. We're going to merge with technology much more before a quote solar flare kill shot. There's so much more to learn about humanity, about the dark side of merging with technology. We haven't reached that point yet, which is troubling because there's certain concerns people have about implantable microchips and other things, ways in which we're interfacing with technology, ways in which technology is replacing relationships, which is not very healthy. I honestly see the sun as a reset with regards to male-female relationships. And I started talking about this years ago. Now think about a reality where the amount of money that a man has is no longer the most important thing. There may be other things regarding survival and instincts that may seem to be important. And I can even see how, the dark side of man can come out, man and woman that is, when the sun causes a major, and we're talking about something that affects the power grid that our nation is not able to recover from. Right now what we're seeing is like an incremental moving into this potential new reality. And our Earth's magnetic field is weakening. There's holes in our Earth's magnetic field. They're moving and they're invisible. Scientists are having a difficult time with their Themis satellites and their European Space Agency satellites because of the nature of the game. It's very baffling to them. It's almost beautiful. So there is something mysterious going on out there. Keep in mind the repercussions for tampering with our Earth's magnetic field, which the government's been doing with their high atmosphere nuclear tests. They've been setting off bombs for years. And this geomagnetic field, which we're connected to on a conscious level, right? It affects sleep patterns. It can affect moods. It's not all negative. It can be applied for the positive, this solar energy. Think about those nukes going off, affecting human consciousness, because the nukes are affecting the geomagnetic field. I'm going to talk about this much more in another video. But see, the idea of going, boom, I'm going to try to keep this simple, not get too complex, immediately into reality, where the cashless society is no longer king, where Facebook is no longer king, where what Donald Trump is tweeting about is no longer king, where it's no longer about the Kardashians. There is no friggin' TV. There is no internet. There's nothing but each other. Wow, there's going to be some dark sides of that. Oh God, people got to live. Ooh, and then you think about people going off their drugs. Think about people going off their meds. That includes pot. You think about people going to a natural based diet, plant-based diet. Sure, I could see some withdrawal symptoms at the entry level, perhaps for a few years, perhaps longer than that. But then you also think about all the books left behind, the intellectual progress that surrounds us. and the information? Do we really have to revert back to the cannibalistic ways? Or can we use this growth of knowledge to make our situation better? And yes, people had it tough during the Great Depression. We have access to certain technologies, and just because there's a potential event from the sun that can affect major transformers, which is what a lot of the concern is, what about local communities using basic technologies, right, to make things work on a local level, whether it's to farm or to generate electricity? Certain local communities are set up, or could be set up, to have their own electricity. They just have to be in a situation where they're basically forced to do that, because we have a grid. We have a grid of control holding us in place. Now just keep this in mind. They want us afraid of a situation where billions die also. Think about this multi-pronged civilization. What if they, I don't want to get too out there for people that aren't at this level, but the demons of this world, the Agent Smiths of this world, you know what I'm talking about, the Matrix? They're feeding on us. They're feeding on all these humans and their emotion, the war and suffering from these endless wars and conflicts. Some are at that level, some are not. There's a reason some believe that they want a large population. And every now and then they just shave aspects of us off and they have their sacrifices, but they like maintaining a population that breeds. Some of us, for a specific reason, have gone in a direction to where we're not procreating. We're in this reality, but we're observing it, but we are, as they say, but even more so, we are maintaining a light carbon footprint. I certainly am with my off-grid lifestyle, but it's much more than that, because it's really, and I should discuss this in our video, about going off-grid spiritually, off the grid of this planet. This is just mimicking a deeper path that I'm on. This sun thing is big. I want to come to you at this basic level that it's some sort of a civilization reset, and we shouldn't be put into fear when they come on TV and Fox and tell us to be afraid of the sun killing billions. Life continues. Energy continues. Even if we don't make it through what's coming, we're going to move on from this. They want us to be afraid of this sun, and they tell us to be afraid of cancer, without realizing the sun is activating a light within us. It powers up that field around us, provides life on our planet. It's more than something that provides light, so we get up every single day and gets us warm in the summer, so we want to take our shirt off and go hop in the river. I mean, that's all in relation to the sun. That's not going to happen during some dark ages where the sun never comes out. But just like a volcanic explosion, right, may seem devastating, but it's really beautiful and adds fertility to nature. You look at the aftermath of Mount Hood and the growth of trees. There's something about the sun and its cycles that mankind doesn't fully understand. And we've been through this before. The sun playing a major role in the reset, and it's coming again. But I believe we're going to see wars, as some say famines. I believe we're going to see transhumanism. I believe we're going to get to a certain bottom, if you will, before we're even close to that solar flare of all solar flares, resetting human society. I think we, myself, some of you that have also tapped into this, come across this information, we're getting this information early on. It could take place in the 2050s. Hell, we could see a full-on man merging with machine reality go on for the next century before we see this major solar flare situation. But there's a reason why now we understand. It's not the only reason, but it plays a role in why the government has their elaborate bunkers, and not just in the United States. That's all for now. It's another perspective on what could be coming. What if there's a liberator to the human slavery that we don't even know about, that actually terrifies the forces that be? It is May 24th, 2017.